Let's take a look at the DualListBox. I've got a flow here, and I'm going to open up this screen, scroll down, and you can see that in my list of custom components, here's DualListBox FFC that I've installed. And I'm going to give it a name, my DualListBox. Now, you can pass information into a DualListBox in two different ways. You can't use both at the same time, or it'll get confused and give you an error message. For our first experience, let's just use we'll use the simple comma-separated string. So here you can see I'm creating my comma-separated list of items. It's got a default value here for the label that I'm going to change. And then what I need to do is I need to provide a storage place for whatever the user ends up selecting in the DualListBox. So I have created a text variable called selected items. So I'm going to store that right there. And that is just the most basic possible text variable, and it's just going to store whatever I have selected, also in comma separated form. So with that, let's run this, and you can see here I've got the full power of the nice base component here that the Lightning Global Components team has made available, and I can change my order, Baz Foo. And so this next screen is simply taking the value of that selected items and providing it. So here you can see we've got the value. Now I want to show you something. I'm going to hit previous, and oops, notice what happened here. My selections have been forgotten. And the good news is we can prevent that from happening. So let's go back to our list box. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the variable that's storing whatever was selected. Now I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to add selected items here as well as an input. Because when we click the previous button and go back, it reloads this screen and takes whatever inputs are provided. So by using the selected items for both the output and the input, I'm sort of feeding it back into the component. That's a relatively new feature that we added a couple releases ago. And now you can see that if I put bar over here and then hit previous, it's remembered. And you can do this as long as you want, because each time it's going to take the selection and it's going to feed it right back in. Now this is good, but so far we haven't addressed one of the biggest limitations of the classic multi-select pick list field. It's been in Flow for a long time, and that is that it's all well and good to get the output as a comma-separated list here, but it's hard to work with comma-separated lists. It kind of takes code, and that's not really what we like to emphasize with Flow. So there's a second way that we can get our output out. Notice here that we can take the selected items as a string collection. So let's go here. Okay, this is slightly different. What I'm going to do is I am still providing a comma-separated list of inputs, but for my output, I'm going to select a collection variable of type text called selective items list. And then over here, I'm going to put my selected items list here. So let's select oranges and cherries, and let's put cherries on top. All right, so this is good news. This means that you can provide a list to people and you can get the result back in a collection variable. You can do a lot of things with a collection variable. Don't have time to show a lot today, but for example, you could take that result and you could loop over it. And then you could process each of the selections individually. And the final flavor that I'll show you is that you can also pass in a collection of strings to form your full set. So here, let's go here, and instead of providing a comma-separated string, let's provide a string collection called full item string list. And we've got full item string list here. And I've initialized it here with a couple of values, string 1 and string 2. And let's run that. And there's string 1 and string 2. Let's select item 1. And there's item 1. And we are good to go.